If you're just going and plugging in a frontier model into single user session, right? And trying to attack your infrastructure with that or discover vulnerabilities with that, that's not what this new threat is going to look like, right? This new threat is going to be this swarm that's coming after you, right? What's coming around the corner is not just one Navy SEAL, right? But it's a whole army of Navy SEALs coming at you. And we've never had an army of Navy SEALs before. But what does it look like to have 1 million Navy SEALs?
Travis, another thing that happened post-Mythos is every company that got it said, hey, let's do it ourselves. Let's build our, let's leverage Frontier Labs, build a harness, and we will sign off that we are, good to go when we find every vulnerability and fix it, or every exploitable risk and fix it. What is your experience? Like, what would you tell someone who's thinking to themselves, hey, I'm going to leverage Frontier Labs and protect my organization myself? What are the pitfalls or the successes that they have in front of them?
I think there's a lot there on how expensive is it to use frontier intelligence for everything in your security program, right? For some use cases with AI, there's an easy cost trade-off to make, right? If this is some task that a human was in the critical path for before, then it's probably always worth it to have frontier intelligence applied to that task. If this is a task that before was a machine-to-machine task, now I think we're in a different world, right? You're going to have to choose what level of intelligence does it make sense to apply to this task. I think cybersecurity is definitely one of those domains where it's this idea of it's not always going to need frontier intelligence. There are going to be some things where you want a specialized model, where you want different kinds of models, where you even want to know what different models look like. What does it look like to get attacked with a Chinese model? I think that's a question that a lot of organizations have on their mind right now.
The cyber domain's a dangerous neighborhood, Travis. And we used to worry about all the gangs roaming the neighborhood. Well, now every gang's a Navy SEAL.
Does that mean everyone has Navy SEALs now?
Everybody's damn close, but there'll always be Navy SEALs, Travis.
To your point, right? Like, hey, it's possible now for everyone to have like maybe one Navy SEAL, right? Or the almost Navy SEAL on a single GPU, right? But if you want to be running these attacks at scale, now it seems like we're in this world where you might even have concentration among the threat actors where it's, hey, why don't we actually go band together? You can actually inject capital in. You can get a big build out of GPUs running open-weight models, tune for custom things, build a harness, and then use that to build this kind of new attack apparatus. If you're just going and plugging in a frontier model into single user session, right? And trying to attack your infrastructure with that or discover vulnerabilities with that, that's not what this new threat is going to look like, right? This new threat is going to be this swarm that's coming after you, right? What's coming around the corner is not just one Navy SEAL, right? But it's a whole army of Navy SEAls coming at you. And we've never had an army of Navy SEAls before. What does it look like to have 1 million Navy SEAls?
Intimidating.
To say the least. What does that mean then if adversaries like Russia, China, if everyone's got this near Navy SEAL capability?
I used to have a challenge, and we'll answer it this way, where every time we did human-based red teaming, we would get into a company and then I'd have to go brief the board. And the number one question I couldn't answer is when the CEO goes, great, you got to my email, but what's the probability that would happen in the real world? And I never knew. In AI, the probability of the attack is 100%. If an agent can do it, make the assumption it's coming for you.
And so if we're kind of going towards this world where the attacks are more homogenous, that means that the defenses could be more concentrated onto what those attacks are going to look like. Does that mean that we should have this kind of, every time there's a new model, we should kind of try and qualify it or derive the TTPs from what the attacks for that type of model would look like, and then kind of let the defenses have a head start?
You know what? I think that the right person to answer that question, Travis, is Travis Lanham. Travis, what do you think about how we should test and release frontier models as they improve?
I think there definitely is this piece of if the models are the new threat actor, right? And unlike the other threat actors, which were in foreign countries and we could try to extradite them and we couldn't, right?
Yeah.
But now we actually have these that we can put into a cage, we can relentlessly pressure test, we can see how they behave, right? And we can derive lots of these different TTPs under many different conditions, right? But it feels like all of that is getting us to understand more about what's in distribution for these models. What do those attack techniques look like? And then if we can derive that, we can actually give a head start on the defenses. And this is something that should be available, whether it's a central organization that's doing it, there's a coalition of organizations that's doing this. We can actually start to get ahead of the curve, right? And make that much more robust than it has been historically possible.